on stranger cities. Steam turn night to day. Now colder sparks of jeans. Light a fast away. Digital dreams take shape. Valley moves at the speed of thought. Robots learn our footsteps. Building what we taught. Same old world, new codes in the street. Value move faster than words when we speak. They say, slow down, this ain't a phase. Whole new era loading. Watch the screen change. Don't fight the rising current. Learn the shape of the swell. Your roots are creative. Pick a lane and just excel.
Hey, baby!
What up, Ray?
Happy Wellness Wednesday, man. How are you?
Yeah, yes. It wasn't wellness for me today, Ray. I had to went to the dentist.
Oh, that's always tough.
I had to get a crown put on it. My mouth is sore as hell, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Like you were saying, it's especially when they rip your mouth open for like a half an hour. You know?
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's a long one.
Supposedly this is the long part of it, and then they send this thing off to a lab, get it made, and when I gotta go put it back on, it'll take like 20 minutes.
Oof! Wow. Yeah, no, I had one of them laser gum surgeries a long time ago. That was crazy. Oof. Yeah,
that's painful, bro.
Well, they said that, but no, I was good. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, I was surprised.
I saw that. I don't want that.
I saw that. I know.
I didn't have it. I just saw it. I don't want to experience that.
It's crazy. But look at this. A lot of news. We're going to get into it. But crypto fear and greed. We got a little pumpage today. I don't know. What do you see? I think we're out of the teens.
Oh, yeah. I think we are out of the teens.
Ooh, all right. I like it.
What were we Monday? I said we were at like 12 or 13. I don't remember 13. What we were at.
Yeah, it was either 12, 13, 14, something like that.
I'm going to say 19, Ray. You know what? Out of the teens, I'm going to say 20.
Okay. All right, 20. Let's see. Oh, 22, Bappy. Look at that. We're coming out of the basement, everybody. You know.
Coming out strong.
Little life. Let's see a little life. And then, people come back,
Yeah.
That's
Trump's dropping bombs on people's moms, and then all of a sudden stuff just starts happening, bro.
Kind of crazy, right? But look at that. Popped over 72. Yeah.
Oh, we got a little bit of green.
A little bit of green, even ETH, over 2,100. Not bad.
Over 72. That's pretty good. That's 4,000. It was 68 last time we looked. So
yeah. These are like, that's it. Is that that'll be like a 0.5% over in the stock world. Good day, but nothing. Yeah.
No, but I mean, hey, if you had it, right?
Absolutely.
If you would have bought the calls, Ray.
Yeah, I know. You got it. This would have been a good one. This would have been a good day. Yes.
Yeah.
Across the board. But yes, that's what's going on. We are coming out. But look at yesterday. It was at 10. So it was crazy. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm telling you because, like, you know what? Because about what we're about to talk about. Yeah, I think we'll see. But let's see. Let me get the chat going.
Yeah, make sure you ain't pulling Sargent today because he grenaded your whole unit on Monday.
It is. Hey, everybody, I'm sorry. It's my bad. But yes, he's over there right now. I'm arguing right now at this very moment. But it's all good. And yes, I don't know what happened Wednesday or was Monday. But happy Wellness Wednesday, GW Rich and Crypto Fam. Yeah, watch out for the Pixel Pirates. In the last week, I've had 3 phone calls, 2 and a text message that went from believable to blunt. Yeah, scam. Lock it up. It is. They're out in force, GW Rich. That's only going to get more, especially with their little AI capabilities, right? But thank you. It is crazy. At least you know better. Right to go. Right. But thanks for joining us, GW Rich. Right on. And all right, Honolulu. Here's the song. They took the whole Cherokee Nation, put us on the reservation, took away our ways of life, the tomahawk and the bow and knife. Oh, huh. That's specifically, yeah.
The only song I know about Cherokee Nation is the one that says Cherokee Nation, Cherokee Tribe. I don't even know who sings that. So If
This is
that's
a
the
deep one.
song, Lou, I know the song. But if it's not the song, no idea. That's gonna
Deep
be
one.
a 70s song, early
Right?
70s.
Early 70s. That's correct. Right on. But thanks for joining us, Honolulu. My crypto adventures. Happy Wellness Wednesday, Web3 Wise Guys fan. To you as well. To you as well. My crypto adventures. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. And there's Robin. Got a 17. Close, Robin.
Oh,
Close.
Robin's
You're
close.
out there. I
Yeah.
appreciate the guess. Right. That's good. But all good. We're a little above. We're in the 20s. That's great. Sup, boys. Happy Wellness
Boy.
Wednesday and whatnot. To you as well, Comfy. Happy Wellness Wednesday to you. Yes. Thank you for joining us, bro. Oh, look at Robin. It could be. That could be one. Share.
If
Yeah.
it's share, that would be. I have no clue.
I don't know either. My bad. It's all good.
That
I like
if
the,
it
like
was
the book.
share, that's when it was Sunny and Share back in the day.
Oh yeah. Well, that was the
That's
70s.
got to be old.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say early 70s. Lou,
Right.
tell us the song and the year, Lou.
Right on.
All
But
right, let's get after it.
this is what we're talking about. And this, I'm going to start out with his son. Yeah. And we're going to get in what he posted. Right. This is Trump over on his platform, but they always bring it over here. True Social. Yeah. But he said the big banks, the very institutions that have held a monopoly and screwed their customers for years, offering near zero yields on retail money market accounts while crushing low balance accounts with exorbitant fees, are now doing everything they can to block the crypto industry from offering the real benefit. And I'm telling you, that's the fight, man. And it's a big deal. And even too, we had good news on DeFi today, everybody. We're going to get into that as well. Indian reservation, the lament of the Cherokee reservation. So yeah, Paul Revere. That's way back in the day.
I don't even know. I never even heard of that.
Yes.
What year, Lou? Tell us the year.
You had the words, Bappy. Yes. There you go. All good. But yeah, what year, Lou? So yes, this is what's going on. And look, it's not just the Trump family. You're going to see it was a lot of follow through with a lot of people, right, from the crypto industry. Yeah, everything from Brad Garlinghouse to even Cardano's, Charles Hoskinson. We're going to see every one of them posted about this. Like I said, this is a big deal, and we'll read this later, right? Because it's in the article I have. But like I said, this is a big turnaround because now Trump is bopping the banks, right? He's giving them the whatnot, yeah. But Trump just took a flamethrower, he says, to the Wall Street, bigwigs, yeah. Publicly calling out the banking lobby for torpedoing the Genius Act and the entire crypto agenda. He went on True Social. That was that thing I was just showing you. And he said, either get in line or we lose to this to China, right? That's literally it, because that's what I'm saying. People will leave. You go and act like a fool, and we can't do all this stuff. It is crazy. Oh, look, there he goes. GW Rich doing Indian Reservation, Paul Revere. Okay, I like it. But the yield battle is the core fight. I mean, that is what all this is about. Banks want all stablecoin yield payments. Yeah, they want it all banned, so they can keep it for themselves. Not just from issuers, but from exchanges too. Their argument: if the people can yield on stablecoins at Coinbase instead of sitting there in their savings account, money leaves the banking system. Coinbase pulled its support for the bill in January. And that is, I'm telling you, what else is, Bappy, I know there's banks do things, right? But they do things off of the deposits that are put in their bank, right? Is there anything that I'm missing that they do additionally? Because I know they do mortgages, I know they do loans, I know they do credit cards, but they can't do that if there's no deposits in the bank, correct?
That's right. I mean, that's their leverage.
That's their bread and butter, man.
Yep.
Right. So we're talking about the biggest.
They make money with our money.
That's what they do, right? Well, I'm saying we used to say this all the time in DeFi, right? That's why we were doing decentralization, keeping our money over on MetaMask and doing the micro lending, doing the staking, doing the liquidity pools, doing all that stuff. Yeah. But that's the big fight now, right? That is literally, and look, seeing this with, and I'm going to scroll down and we'll read it, right? This is what he sent on True Social, right? The Genius Act is being threatened and undermined by banks, and that is unacceptable. We are not going to allow it. The U.S. needs to get market structure done ASAP. Americans should earn more money on their money. Yes, I agree. Thank you, Trump. The banks are hitting record profits, and they get bailed out when everything gets collapsed and the mortgages go crazy or whatever. Yeah, that's not the case with this. They're going to bail out crypto. And we are not going to allow them to undermine our powerful crypto agenda that will end up going to China and other countries if we don't get the Clarity Act taken care of. The Genius Act was the USA's first big step to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. And getting the Clarity Act done is the next step to finishing the job. Yep. And most importantly, keep this big and powerful industry in the country. The banks should not be trying to undercut it, the Genius Act, or hold the Clarity Act hostage. They need to make good deals with the crypto industry because that's what it's in the best interest of the American people. This industry cannot be taken from the people of America when it's so close to becoming truly successful. And there you go. Thank you. Is what he's saying.
Think about it, Ray. When the people who are below the poverty level here are still in the top 1% of earners in the entire world.
Right. Yes.
So that's how as bad as our dollar is devalued, that's how good it's or how much it's worth everywhere else.
Right. 1,000%. Right. And here's another thing, and this is kind of off the story, but it's the same kind of narrative. This is why I'm telling you we talk about AI so much, man, because that's going to make the wealth gap even far wider. Right. It really is, because people that are not dialed in on this thing, right, there's going to be lots of people that make millionaires, right, and then billionaires, because I think there's going to be a lot more value in this system, right, because we talked about, there's going to be trillions or billions of new agents. Those agents are trading on crypto and not trading on markets, but they're using it, right? But in general, it's just going to create a lot more revenue, fees, all that stuff. Yeah. And if you're not in that AI stuff and looking, and like we talked about just the last show on Monday, and learning about it, even though it's free to learn, that's what I'm saying. That wealth gap is going to get wider and wider. Yeah. So this is all important stuff. That's why we talk about it and why you should lock in. Yeah. But here it is. This is Brad Garlinghouse, right? This is the head of not is Ripple, right? Ripple, XRP, all of this things like that, right? An extremely pointed message from POTUS to those who are dragging their feet on clarity. This is and always has been about what's in the best interest of the American people. Because I don't know what it is, what kind of interest you get, especially in money markets and all that. But it's all under a percent, right? It's under a percent. Yeah.
Money. I mean, through a bank.
Yeah.
I would say yes. If you go to like Vanguard's money market, you probably earn, I don't know, 4.5%, 5%. So think about that.
Yeah.
You keep your money in the bank, you could earn 5 times the interest going somewhere else.
Right. Okay.
Now just expand that to all of the other things that we're talking about where it could be limitless.
Yeah, absolutely. Steve, thank you. Thanks for the great information, Wise Guy. Thank you, Steve, for watching. We do try to give you everything, man. I know everybody's working. You can't see everything that's going on, but I will give you the most up-to-date information about what's going on. But I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you. Yeah, so that's Brad Garlinghouse. And then you got, like I said, this is Charles Hoskinson. He's the head over there with Cardano, right? He actually, was a big developer with Ethereum, but then he, went to Cardano. But he says, I agree with the president. The banks amended the bill 137 times. They have to stop messing with it and trying to shut down the industry. 137 times they're letting these, it is a monopoly. I don't know what anybody says. I thought we're not supposed to have that. We have it in media. We have it in banking. We have it in insurance. We have it in almost every industry, but we're not supposed to have it. It's crazy. Yeah. So, like I said, this is the big story today. And it's making movements. I think that's why you're seeing some of this stuff with the, a little bit of pumpage, right? A little bit of, good things happening. Maybe we'll see. Because this is a little nudge that he's telling them to get it done. Yeah. So
100%.
We shall see. We shall see. Big deal. And then this is you remember how we were talking about Claude Anthropic, like how they wouldn't listen to the Pentagon?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, OpenAI has stepped in to fill the gap, right? Because Claude has refused, and now Sam Altman tells OpenAI staffers that the military's operational decisions are up to. And look, of course, I get this stuff. I'm not like, hey, yeah, OpenAI staff, employees should be able to have a say in what's going. No, that's not what I'm saying. Well,
let's have we're back at like Running Man, where people just get to make a decision, right?
That's right. Sure, everybody gets a vote.
This or this.
yeah. It's everybody gets a vote. And no, that's absolutely a national security risk. You can't do that, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point of what everybody's saying, what the Claude Anthropic CEO was saying, is it was the red line that they crossed, was with the autonomous weapons with no human in the middle and the mass surveillance that they had no control over. Right. So they unwind it, and it's still happening. I think that's probably why Claude was down for a bit. But they're unwinding from the Pentagon and all government, things that they integrated in. And now OpenAI has now stepped in, and they're going to be doing it. Yeah,
they're going to rip the tentacles off.
Yeah, they are. But all his employees, right? I think it was like 80 to 100, something like that. They're just up in arms, man. They're not happy, right? And again, you got to understand too. I'm sure it's a lot of lefty, and I know it's politics too. I'm not saying everybody's all, holier than thou, and they got these great, thing, but it's political stuff too. So the quote that will define, this thing is talking about. So maybe you think the Iran strike was good, and the Venezuela invasion was bad. You don't get to weigh in on that, and that's what they're talking about with these employees, right? That don't matter from you, right? We have one commander in chief. That's what we vote on every 4 years, and he makes a decision, right? That's how our system works. Now right now we're what's called a conflict, right? So we're not at war, we're at a conflict. So that's why the president's allowed to do that. Once you start putting boots on the ground and all that kind of stuff, then it becomes war, and then you got to get Congress and all that stuff to pass it. Yeah.
Yep.
So there are steps. Yes, it looks, and who knows how this is going to go, man.
Well, they said, Ray, I don't know how many days. Do you know how many days in we are now?
No, like 4 or 5. I don't know.
I saw something that said we should be done at 10 days.
Yeah, could have, would have, should have. Yeah.
Well,
I hear you.
That's what they're saying, is that it'll be over in 10 days.
Okay. Hey,
but I mean, they're still moving a lot of troops over there, so that doesn't make me feel too good about the statement. But
no. Well, it is. It's just like I said. People don't know. I mean, again, it's all great in theory. Like the Venezuela thing, kudos, amazing, right? Amazing to her. That is amazing, right? This is different, right? This isn't the Venezuela, right? These people do have a military. They do have lots of missiles and very advanced ones. I don't know if you saw the hypersonic ones. Have you seen those, Bappy?
I did see that.
They have a hypersonic, and that's from Russia, right? Russia and China, they all work together, right? So they, just like us. That's what I'm saying. You can't. I mean, just because it's our side, you got to look at this, right? They have allies too, right? They can work together. That's how it works. Yeah, we have some too, and we work together. But yeah, they have advanced.
We're losing them quick, Ray.
Losing what?
Allies. Did you see Spain said we're not allowed to use any of their bases anymore?
No, I didn't. Really?
Yeah, for real.
Huh. Wow. See that? And that's what I mean. People that it'll tighten up.
Trump basically said we don't buy anything from Spain anyway. It doesn't matter.
But I don't know. Yeah, Spain. We use a lot of bases in Italy, right? And of course, we got a lot of friends in the Middle East that, like, you see them do the tour when he first got inaugurated with Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar.
They what was it? Iraq sent some bombs some places in like Dubai and stuff.
Around, yes. Now some fake. Just be careful. Like I said, be careful. Some were saying like the Wiz Khalifa or whatever. That not Wiz Khalifa. That's the singer.
That's a rapper, right?
That building, right? And it's the largest building, right? Like I said, I think, but that was fake, right? Some of it is real. Some of it's fake. You just got to watch it, right? I mean, that we'll get into that too. X's Grok is hammering that kind of content, yeah. But I mean, like I said, this is this is crazy, and things that are going on with OpenAI, right? They are now filling in that gap, right? But also what they're saying, like, this timing is brutal, right? Anthropic got blacklisted, and within hours, Sam Altman announced that the OpenAI Pentagon deal, it's happening, right?
Stepped up, man. That's big money, right?
Of course, huge money.
Absolutely. Why? Like you don't want to miss that if you have the opportunity.
Well, I know, but then that's what I'm saying. Anthropic, they said no, right? It is a lot of money, right? So what you're seeing too, is you're seeing people, and I'm going to go to CNN one too here, but they are, okay, I agree, CNN. But their staff is fuming, right? And people are leaving OpenAI and going over to Anthropic, yeah? Because like I said, look, this is going to get, like I said, very serious, because these AI models are going to run how, whatever, culturally, socially, military stuff, they're going to run these systems, everyone. So it's a very important thing on what models, like I don't mind, I think Grok, I like Grok, right? It is more how I think. But again, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know how they're going to go and filter all this stuff. Which ones do we use? So this is very important. Like I said, and that's what they're asking here. Where are the red lines, right? What you must speak up. That's what their people are saying. They don't want to be a part of that, right? And that's what a lot of inventors back in the day, somebody who obviously invented the nuclear weapon, it was more for good things. They didn't know they were going to make it into a bomb, right? And that's how all this stuff works.
Yeah, they were trying to just split the atom.
Yes, right. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, this isn't new, right? But this is just much more powerful, right? I really do believe that. Like, even though we're talking about nuclear weapons, this is more powerful than nuclear weapons. It really is.
Yeah, well, being able to run things is probably much more destructive than actual destruction.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, these soon they will be robotic, and they will be in the physical reality, right? And then they will be controlled by that language model and those brains, right? It's very going to get very Skynetish, little Skynetish, yeah. But I'm here for it. And we're gonna do well in this area, right? But again, this is going off of the stuff too. Billions in crypto are moving in Iran. Analysts can't agree if it's wartime panic or business as usual. But this it's another exchange, right? There's no Bitix spiked 873%. A digital bank run, right, was going on. And yeah, of course. What do you think, man? People that have the ability to either leave or do something in Iran, they're going to do their thing, and they're out, right?
Yeah, they ain't sticking around there. Hell no.
That's right. But the war between chain analysis, these are all data analysis places, right? And yeah, they're all getting some conflicting things, right? There's this chain analysis, Elliptic, and TRM Labs. Yeah, Elliptic says it's capital flight. Chain analysis says it might be too early to tell, and TRM Labs says everyone is overreacting. The total dollar amount was only a few million in the market that moves billions annually, right? So, this 873% spike is a percentage of near zero volume because internet blackouts made normal trading impossible. So there are, like I said, it's a lot of people. You got to watch it on X too, everybody. A lot of people are trying to get views, doing their thing. And yeah, they overblow things. They just kind of get all wonky. Yeah. Nancy, hello, Web3 Wise Guys fan. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Thank you, Nancy. To you as well.
There you go.
Let me put the banner up too, since we are just
good idea. I forgot about that too.
All good. But hey, like I said, this Iran conflict, it's a big deal. Yeah. And I hope, like you said, Bappy, I hope it's wrapped up in 10 days. We do not want a long, drawn out, and especially boots on the ground. I am firmly against boots on the ground. Yeah.
We need to have a countdown each show here, Ray. You gotta ask Grok when it started, and then we'll reverse engineer it.
Yeah. Well, let's see. When did U.S. versus Iran conflict start? There we go. Huh. Yeah. Come on. You couldn't just do this. Give me exactly.
Yeah. No, it'll say, oh, that started in the 1970s.
Yeah, it is the 70s, man. Come on, man.
What do we have?
I thought we were in it, man. I thought we were in 2020.
Well, what we got to do. You keep going with the show. I'll find out what the name of this, what they're calling. This is like Project
Epic Fury. Epic
Yeah.
Fury.
Yeah, that's if you ask when did Epic Fury start, then it would probably tell you.
When did Operation Epic Fury? What a goofy name, man. Epic Fury.
That's a Trump thing.
That's it. February 28th. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, that's the last day. So yeah, 5 days, man. Yeah.
So we're 5 days in. So technically, by Friday we'll be 7. By Monday we'll be 10.
Okay.
So we'll find out.
Monday. That's what we need. Not wrap it up. Wrap it up, guys.
Yeah. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. But like, here's another thing too, and it goes along with the same stuff. Like I said, watch it on all the social medias, right? All of the stuff. Like, look at X. This is what they're doing. X warns against creator payouts over undisclosed AI war videos. Right? You're getting so much you don't know, man. I seen one, and look, the only way I could tell that it was fake is because the guys that were on the aircraft carrier, they weren't looking at it. They were just still working on the aircraft carrier. But it had a B-2 stealth bomber, which is a massive plane. Right?
Oh yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah, it was doing a flyby like Tom Cruise, right by the carrier. I was like, bro, that's crazy, And plus, they don't fly like that. They're not fighter jets, right?
Right.
So yeah,
I saw that, right?
Huh?
I saw that. The one that looks like the flying wing, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Did you think it was real?
I thought it was real, right? You know what? The reason I knew something was up is it was flying so low, and it was in obviously it's by an aircraft carrier, so it's in the ocean. There was no mist or anything coming from the water, which would not be.
Yeah. It's like I said, and it just doesn't fly. It's not maneuverable like that, right? It's not buzzing the tower and going sideways and stuff.
Well, if Tom Cruise is in there, Ray, you got to ask for a flyby.
Yeah, that's right. It's a no-go. But same thing. You have to look. Just you like I said, use your brain. Look out. It's going to get harder. But like I said, I saw the guys on the deck. Right? They weren't even looking. They were just still working on the deck. And yeah, anything like that flying by, everybody's gonna look, right? That's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah.
And so X is you have a if they find out that you're doing this, right? You have a 90-day suspension. Yeah. If you do it a second time, you're banned. Yeah. So
I love it.
That's but like I said, all of this is misleading. You got a lot of fake stories, but look, they're gonna have to do this for everything, not just some war stuff, right? I mean, things like this, whatever this list, this files that came out with all this disgustingness, right?
Yep.
A lot of stuff you got to watch out with that, right? So this is what I'm telling you. Like this is what. See, it was called the Caliph, right? It wasn't the one. It wasn't the rapper, but the Burj Khalifa, yeah.
Yeah, but not Wiz, but Burj. It was Wiz's cousin.
It's his cousin, his big tall cousin, yeah. But again, you can see just even the edge, right? I mean, fake stuff. Everybody, don't get caught up in it. But this will get banned, right? Manipulate media, misinformation. This video is AI generated, right? Nothing to do with reality. Sometimes they're going to catch that. They do a lot of community notes and things like that. But like I said, that's what you got to watch. You don't need to get into any of that. Now, if you do it, you can put it on the like a watermark and say, hey, AI generated content, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be kind of doing mocking and fun and goofy things like that, right? You can do that. So, but yeah, you don't want to get banned for that, right? War is the ultimate AI deepfake stress test. I mean, because it is. People are looking for this kind of content, and I mean, you gotta watch it. I've seen stuff where missiles going into Israel. I've seen things where they're attacking other Middle East countries around Iran. So you just gotta be aware how I think you are how much AI is going on here.
Sure.
Night Owl. How you doing, Night Owl?
What's up, Night Owl?
Just couldn't say hi. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you saying hi, jumping in, Night Owl. Great space today. Thank you. Appreciate you. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, it's crazy times to be alive. Yeah. We're going to keep saying that. But again, this is more accurate, less cringe. OpenAI rolls out GPT 5.3, right? And it's not that crazy deal. Like I said, what most of the people were saying on X is this is a distraction, right? Because they went in and did the Anthropic thing. They hooked up to the Pentagon, and this is like, hey, everybody, look what we did over here, right? This is the kind of stuff that at least people are saying are going on. I don't see too much of a difference. The main thing is where if you're not familiar with some of these models, it's just more accurate, less cringe. They reduced hallucination rates nearly about 27%. And it cuts the unnecessary disclaimers. It does goofy things before it tells you what's really the issue or what you're trying to ask, right? Because like I said, a lot of people are saying it's just also a distraction because of the Pentagon backlash. Yeah. But they said it's a problem. One of the biggest users' complaints about GPT 5.2 was that it would lecture you about all kinds of goofy things before it literally would answer you, right? So, like I said, this thing just came out. I mean, if I have my account up there, you can see it. It's in the drop down, right? You can put it in there. It's just better with conversations, talks, in a more human, I guess, type language, right? Without telling you a whole lecture. So, there you go. But this is a big one, Bappy. I think you're going to appreciate the next one. Yeah, this is a big one. Billions. Oh, no, it's old. What are you doing? It's another one. Here it is. Kraken wins Kansas City Fed approval for a limited master account access. Yeah. So Kraken.
What does that mean in English?
Okay, I will. Kraken is a centralized exchange. Yep. And now they have banking privileges, right? So this is historic. Kraken's banking arm just got approved by the Kansas City Federal Reserve for a master account, making it the first crypto native company to plug directly into Fed's payment rails. Yeah, this is
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting, right? This is the key that opens the door to the entire U.S. banking system, right? With crypto, right? What is a master account, right? What does that mean? Most crypto companies have to go through a bank to access Fed payment system. So all this time, remember, we're wiring money in to Coinbase or wherever you're using. Yeah. Now Kraken can settle directly on FedWire. Yeah.
I wonder if now you'll see a lot of exchanges going through Kraken.
Right. Could be. Right. I mean, and what's Kraken doesn't have a token, everybody. Right. So, like I said, this is a big deal. So this is the same rails JP Morgan and Bank of America use, right? That means faster settlements, less dependence on corresponding banks, and the ability to integrate fiat liquidity directly into crypto products, right? This is an enormous infrastructure level legitimacy, right? It really is. So this is Kraken becoming the first real.
That's legitimizing it.
100%, right? I have an account with Kraken, so I might be thinking about making some more, kind of stuff going on here, right? So I'm looking for this other one, and if I can't find it, right, it's called a skinny account. Hold on. But if I can, there it is. Skinny.
There it is.
Yep. So this is the foot in the door, right? The approval is limited. It's a tier 3 account with restrictions. Kraken doesn't get interest on reserves, and the account is up for renewal in 1 year. So every year. Yeah. But here's the thing. It's called Caitlin Long's Custodia Bank has been fighting in court for years to get something similar and hasn't succeeded. Kraken just did it, right? The regulatory tide has clearly shifted. So
that's pretty big.
It is big. It's a good thing. And again, like you said, it's just more legitimizing things, Bappy. We need some of this stuff in crypto. I'm all about that decentralization stuff too, but you got to make it easy for the people to get in and out and doing their thing, right? So this is the first test for this concept, right? First one. So that's a big deal. Good stuff. Way to go, Kraken. And then look, this is another thing. Like I said, this is a big deal, right? This has to do with like Uniswap, everybody. But this is the big fight. It was a court case going on about DeFi, right? And the problem is the federal court today reminding everyone that providing software infrastructure is no more aiding and abetting fraud, than a bank providing accounts or WhatsApp providing messaging. Okay.
Interesting.
So no matter how they try to dress up their allegations, plaintiffs are basically alleging that defendants substantially assisted fraud by providing ordinary services that anyone could use for lawful purposes, right? Such an argument fails for the same reason why a bank does not substantially assist a money launderer who washes his account through the bank accounts, right? So here, real quick, and you guys know this is what I'm talking about. Developers develop all this cool smart contracts, doing all this cool stuff, a DAO, whatever it is, right? Whatever they're building. Somebody coming in, hacking, bridging, doing something to that, the developer should not be responsible for that.
No.
Yeah. But that's what it was. Mappy was doing it for a week. That's what people were getting Wells notices, SEC stuff, kind of like that. Uniswap, there it is down here, right? This is Uniswap. This is what this woman was talking about, Amanda. This is the actual story. The court dismissed all claims in the Risley class action with prejudice, reaffirming the core principles that developer isn't liable for third-party misconduct simply because it built neutral infrastructure other used in bad things, right? Open source stuff. When we say this, like my OpenClaw, right? It's open source. Somebody goes and leverages that and builds something crazy that's criminal. That's not the guy that built OpenClaw's fault, right? That's what this is all about, and it's a big deal because now what do they call it when they have case law that they can go back to? I don't know if you know it off the top of your head, but I'm thinking of it too. But now they have that. That's good, right? So this was already decided, and now that gives a great lane for DeFi. We all know. Yeah.
Well, that would be like, Al Gore being responsible for all hackers since he invented the internet.
It is. He would be. We should get. Yes, that's true. All the spam, all that spam. That's correct, Mappy. I like it. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. GM Wise Guys fam. To you as well, Michelle. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Yep. But big deal. We like Uniswap. We like DeFi. That's a great thing. And now it's a case law, and you can always go back to that and say, hey, look, that's how it worked over there. And there you go. Yeah. But this is a very interesting story, Bappy. Like I said, I know you're new in the crypto and all this stuff, but they're saying, right, that Bitcoin could hard fork on any attempt to freeze Satoshi Nakamoto's 1 million tokens. Yeah. Crazy, right? And just giving you kind of caveat, like what this means, this quantum, stuff, this quantum computing, where they got to do this hardening to these blockchains. It is very real. Right? Very real. And thank you, Comfy. That is what it's called. Yes. Legal precedent. Thank you, bro. That's exactly it. Thank you. But yes, this is big because, like I said, Satoshi Nakamoto has got 1 million Bitcoin, right? And they want to, fortify all these blockchains from this quantum, stuff that's going on, because it's real, right? So Go ahead.
How did he get so much of it?
Oh, he's the one that launched it.
Okay.
So at the beginning, Bappy, Bitcoin was humming out, right? Because it was the very beginning, right? You were getting many Bitcoin, right? When you were mining, right?
Right.
And even too, anybody could do it on a laptop, right? That's why it was such a crazy time back then, right? Bitcoin was pennies, and people were doing it on their laptops. It didn't have any kind of really meaning back then. And then, this is the originator, right? Which is Satoshi Nakamoto. He mined out a lot, right? And it was about 1 million Bitcoin at the beginning. But obviously he's the one that launched it, right? So, they were doing it for a good bit. So yes, and that's a real threat. So the point is that if they don't either freeze his account or those tokens, or fork the blockchain, which means, do you know what a fork in a blockchain is?
Well, they're obviously, something off something.
Yeah, and this one's still alive, right? Whoever uses this one, this is that other lane. You can do it, right? That's what you see with some of those other Bitcoin, forks. There's other tokens on there, like Bitcoin Cash. I don't know. There's a couple of them, yeah. But when you're off on the other fork, that's the new chain. That's where everybody's working. That's where
it's all happening.
Right. But now developers or whoever could take that other chain and still run with it, right? but it's a different type of Bitcoin, right? They would have to do something, whatever. But it is wild, right? Joanne, good evening.
What's up, Joanne?
Good to see you, Joanne. Thank you for joining us. But yes, this is a big debate going on in the Bitcoin community and the devs, right? So this hard fork scenario is no longer theoretical. Yeah, Bitcoin core dev Matt Carolla has said a hard fork may be the only way to resolve this, and that if a hard fork happens, it's very clear which one the market is going to prefer. One fork freezes the vulnerable coins, the other leaves them accessible to whoever can crack the cryptography. That's the split in Bitcoin community. That could be as divisive as the block size war that created Bitcoin Cash. And that's what I was just saying, Bitcoin Cash. That is the other one, right? So when it forked before, people stayed with Bitcoin Cash, right? And that's it's a whole different thing. Still on somewhat the same blockchain. So the other thing, like I said, it is real. This quantum theft, it's possible. Everybody, I know, and nobody knows the time frame. But the math on vulnerable coins is staggering, right? It's not just Satoshi's 1 million Bitcoin. Analysis estimate roughly 1.72 million coins in old pay to public key addresses are quantum vulnerable, plus up to 2 million more that may be permanently lost. So people that lose their keys, Bappy, right? They just because it's laying there, if you can hack it with these quantum computers, that means any of those coins that are just sitting there, even though you lost the keys, somebody could go get them.
Snap them all up.
And then what's that mean? That means they could dump it on the market, right?
Right.
So that's the problem. That's the issue that we're talking about here, right? So it is. We're going to come up with it. There's a philosophical stakes are existential, they say. Yeah? I'm just saying. Let's see. Look, here we go. So this is the vote, right? They're talking about should Satoshi's Bitcoin be frozen or risk being lost to quantum hackers, and a large sum says 67% freeze them, and then the other ones they're all right to just let it be pure, and if they lose them, they lose them, huh? You know, just don't know.
They're all right until they lose them, then they'll somehow complain about that they lost them.
Well, yeah, but that's what they'll do. I'm thinking that's more pure Bitcoin people, right? They'll just take the loss and do that, but I don't even understand why you would want to do that, right? Just I'm down with the fork, right? Fork it, and then but I mean, I don't fully understand. I mean, I'm just kind of going through the news too, right? So they do say it might be inevitable, right? Something is going to happen. Something's got to give, and like I said, it's interesting. If you freeze specific wallets, even ones that are been dormant for 15 years, you've created a precedent that the protocol can intervene in property rights, right? The big thing that you hear about Bitcoin is all this wonderful decentralization stuff, right? How is that decentralization when you can do that? So that's what I'm saying. It's a conundrum. Yes, it's all good. But cool story, interesting. These are the things that we're over here, trying to figure out. And then here's this one of the last one. Like I said, I got a good full story on is Vitalik Buterin urges Ethereum to broaden its mission beyond finance, right? He's always, like I said, I think he's going to be, they want to use, like I said, with AI, right? Be AI infrastructure too. Of course. Why wouldn't you? Yeah. But, the vision is deliberately timed. This post comes as OpenAI hands its model to the Pentagon as X struggles to police AI war propaganda. And as governments worldwide tighten control over digital communications, Vitalik is explicitly positioning Ethereum as the antithesis, right?
Antithesis
of the trajectory. Yeah. But that's good. I mean, like I said, I've always kind of liked Vitalik, right? He's a little peculiar, but that's what it is when you're very smart, right? He doesn't want it just to be a financial network, but a freedom network. I'm all about that, Vitalik. Digital islands of stability in a chaotic era is the phrase worth, sitting with. So they, this is what he is. He's always kind of got these theories of what it wants to look at, but good. He thinks in big ways, right? And that's why Ethereum has been obviously so successful, right? He's been working on this thing where transactions are finally not trying to kill people. Yeah. Because those fees were crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. And, they got a lot of still, stuff they're still building, working out. They're doing some other things too with smart contracts, and we shall see. Like I said, he's always building, doing things. And then this, just quick thing, just reading kind of, the bullet points. Morgan Stanley picks Coinbase, BNNY as custodians for planned Bitcoin ETF. So those are two pretty big, Morgan Stanley. Yeah.
Yeah. Bank of New York. That's huge.
Yeah. Bank of New York. Yeah. So there you go. The SEC has not yet approved the Morgan Stanley Bitcoin ETF. But again, that's always good news, everybody. We keep getting more of the big guys, the institutions coming in, doing their thing. But yeah, that's good. And then this is interesting. Sent from a buddy in Vietnam, right? And he said, this is Ton, literally Ton blockchain, right? And they reposted this, right? But Ton, US hub, creators built the internet, algorithms took control of it, and we're changing it. Yeah. So this outfit right here is trying to do some cool stuff for creators. For years, creators have had to fight algorithm gated reach, platforms owning their audience, monetization controlled by intermediaries. You do the work, someone else controls distribution. And
someone's been telling us that all the time.
Kind of very familiar, huh, Bappy? Yeah. So Telegram changes that, and I know some other things that change that. Yeah. On Telegram, creators own the relationship. No algorithm deciding who sees your content. No feed fighting for your attention. No platform standing between you and your audience, right? Just direct connection. That's what we're looking for. Ton adds the economic layer. That's the blockchain. You can use all those tokens. Yeah. And then there you go. I'm just going to scroll. I'm not going to read everyone, but this is cool, right? Distribution and ownership and monetization unified. Beautiful thing if that's how it's going to work, right? So keep going. Take a look. If you're not following this, I'm not, like I said, they're actually very new, but Ton literally retweeted this, and that's usually interesting when they do that, right? That means they're backing it a little, right? So cool stuff. If you haven't checked it out, go see what they're doing and see if it's something that we should be following. Yeah. And then this, let me see. This is pretty long, but it is a good one. Everybody, look at that. Look that up. These are the. If you care about privacy, this is absolutely one that you might want to go through, because all of these other ones, they're not very down with privacy. Okay. Well, these, and I'm going to just scroll through. I'm not going to read every one, but you can read what they are, right? But this Venice, good for privacy, right? You have to see where it is with that. Here's another one, and I skipped over it. That's why I was going back up. Confer. What if the signal was a chat bot? These are all different AI models, and they are all, focusing on privacy. Lumo, Proton AI, and the alone, right? And that alone says a lot, right? But this is another model. Take a look. Kaji. This is another one I heard, and not an assistant, but your new default search. I like that kind of stuff because search, yeah. I mean, Google's not the most. They're a little biased, Google, everyone. So take a look. That's a good search. Down here's another one. Camo copy. It's European routed, right? So there's another kind of stuff. Good for the Europeans. And then I think it has DuckDuckGo. LED. I've never really heard of them, but check that out. And then Xprivo. Open source option for people who want control. There you go. Again, that has like Kimmy. That's what I'm using with Sarge over here. And then Internet XT AI. Way too simple, but bet on anonymity. I like anonymity. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of them. And DuckDuckGo, they say that it's the one normies will actually use. They have their own search engine, but I don't know, right? It's not it's not really that open. Yeah. Just being straight up. But like I said, many other ones. Go through the article if you want to check it out. And then we'll probably wrap it up here. Like I said, this is another thing from Elon. They were just talking about how big a deal of what this is going on with OpenAI, right? It's so funny, right? That there's so much crazy stuff happening that Claude highlighted me. And it's like I said, he got a whole bullet point of all the crazy things. If you don't know background about Sam Altman, this is what they're telling you, man. Right? It's not the greatest thing. Yeah. He was saying he was like all kinds of things with on a board. Really wasn't. 100 trillion, 40 years. Just says a lot of wild stuff.
Someone in crypto lied.
No, crypto is Sam Altman. This is the head of OpenAI, Bappy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the one that just integrated with the Pentagon.
Yeah, that's not good. Did we do a little background check first?
Yeah. Hey, maybe Pete Hegseth. You think you can check out the background? Yeah. Just because the one said no to you, right? Why don't you work it out, right? You don't just pick the next one and be like, yeah, please, sir, can I have another? Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. So, yeah, just saying, it's wild out there, man. And yeah, I'm here for it though. It's exciting. And I'll let us take a listen to it. But he's literally talking about a flaw in Bitcoin, right? And I like Chamath. He's a pretty good dude. Yeah. So take a listen, and then we'll wrap it up. But it's interesting. Yeah, because we've been saying that, like Bitcoin, they didn't really kind of stick to their original white papers, like I said, about mining and how it could be mined out for everybody, because it's not now. It's only for the rich. And then, like I said, take a look at. I never really heard this kind of theory too. It's pretty interesting.
I think the reality is that Bitcoin, for the most part, at this point, there's a structural failing in Bitcoin that I think people will need to come and wrap their heads around. The structural failing is that it is not. So if you think about, like, what is the value maximizing function right now for a crypto asset to be broadly adopted, it needs to have the features that allow a central bank to adopt it. And there are two things that it lacks. One is fungibility and two is privacy. And so Bitcoin fails on those two dimensions. So it can never be a structural holding of a central bank. And that simple thing will keep it in the realm of ETFs and humans. And
does gold satisfy those conditions?
Yeah.
Fungibility, but not easily.
Both. You have no idea how much the Bank of China owns. You don't know how many ounces they own. You don't know how many ounces I own. When there's a public ledger that says this address has this much, and you can't really trade it because you know the history and the provenance of that exact token. It's been used to buy this. It was transacted over here. It went to this wallet. That lack of fungibility and privacy is a huge deterrent for broad structural adoption. That's what you need to then add another 10x of market cap. So is there room for a different crypto asset that solves for the privacy and fungibility? Yeah. And are there projects right now? Yes, but they're very small scale. There's huge issues with them. Those are even more volatile. So Bitcoin's interesting.
So yeah, I guess, talking about central banks, probably wouldn't work for them, right? But store value, treasuries for countries, right? Absolutely still viable. But that's kind of what I always kind of was thinking that too, right? There's going to have to be something else.
Someone's going to drop it, Ray.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Well, a lot of people, and I have XRP, but a lot of people say something like that, right? And like I said, Brad Garlinghouse all up in institutions and connected pretty well with that. But yeah, who knows what it could be. And thank you, my crypto adventures. Like, share, and subscribe. Yep, smash the like button. Helps us, help you, and it's great stuff. But it's good to hear people talking about that, because it doesn't. You really can't. Now I know that Bitcoin goes down to sats, right? Little. I think it was 100 million, 500 million per. I don't know off the top of my head, right? Well, how many sats is in one Bitcoin? I should, but I don't know right now. But it can be, there's a lot of decimals in Bitcoin. But just in general, it doesn't look like maybe that's what these big banks will use. Yeah. That's kind of the other thing too, Bappy, is all that stablecoin stuff, right? That's a big thing that those guys would hold.
Yep.
The other big point with all this that's going on with the banks, right? They want it to be fair, like a level of playing field, and that's what they're telling the stablecoin people. But they don't even get that it's not fair already, right? They want the stablecoin people to play by the same rules, right? With all the yields and all the things, stuff like that. But banks are not also playing by the same rules.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They don't have fractional reserves. They got fractional.
They don't count.
They don't count. Right. They're not even playing by the same rules, right? Most with the stablecoin stuff, you have 1-to-1, right? They have to hold, some kind of asset that is equaling what they say that they have, right? Now banks, they don't. They hold 10%,
right?
And that's another thing. That's
the same as the government, right? They don't play by the same rules as we do.
It is, but that's why they're going to be whining and screaming, right? When this happens, Bappy, it's a sea change, man. I don't know what them banks are gonna what? They're just gonna be a vault and hold my ledger. I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think it'll be there. I think they're gonna make some just kind of work together, right? And I think that'll be, like I said, it'll be a little bit of decentralization, and then also it'll be centralized. Yeah.
Yeah.
But appreciate you, Bappy. You have anything before we get going? You good?
I got nothing. Are you going to wind up a space tonight or no?
No, I don't see it. I mean, I don't see it'd be just me and you, man. I don't see Snoop. I don't see Sal. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm good. I'm good with it.
All good, man. Right.
All right.
I don't see Apex. Yeah. So all good.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll be back. We'll be back Friday. And yeah, have a good time, everybody.
All right, brother.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Bappy. Have a good one.
All right. Peace. We'll see it.
Spill on strange cities, steam turn night to day. Now colder sparks of jeans, light a fast away. Digital dreams take shape, valley moves at the speed of thought. Robots learn our footsteps, building what we taught. Same old world, new codes in the street. Value move faster than words when we speak. They say, slow down, night, this ain't a phase. Whole new era loading, watch the screen change. Don't fight the rising current, learn the shape of the swell. Your roots are creative, pick a lane and just excel. Hold the line, enjoy the ride. It's that moment you can't rewind. Into the beginning, don't blink your eyes. Very divine time to be alive. Industrial sparks in the palm of your hand. Machines learn the rhythm, code learning, man. Don't call it a threat, not call it a tool. Same fire they fear when the factories move. Mommy go wild, let it swing, let it breathe. Volatility teaching patience to greed. If you're early, you chosen. If you're here, you now. Future tap my shoulders like you ready. How? Hold the